The program you are about to hear is a production of the River's Edge Radio Network. The River's Edge can be heard 24 hours a day with the best in local Pittsburgh music at riversedgepgh.com. The River's Edge, your voice for local music. Enjoy the show. Welcome to another River Talk Extra with Bryan Crawford here in the River's Edge Radio Network, broadcasting out of Millvale Studios, and I am thrilled to have Mr. Mike Wysocki. You can hear him every morning on the Q92 Morning Show. He's here in studio, and he is actually headlining a very interesting act that is tomorrow, an interesting show tomorrow. It is called Shaking with Laughter, and it benefits the Parkinson Foundation of Western Pennsylvania. Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on here. I didn't come up with the title of that show, so if anyone thinks, but this is the foundation that did. But it's going to be a great show, and it's in a beautiful theater in East Liberty.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. Now, do you have any connection to Parkinson's syndrome, or what's your connection to this event?
It's just a really good cause to do. I mean, I've known people that have had it before, and just got in contact with Sean Collier, who put the whole thing together. He's a very funny comedian, right?
Yeah, he's great.
He's on radio and does movie reviews. He writes for Pittsburgh Magazine, and he just asked me, and I was happy to do it. He asked me to be part of the show, and it's gonna be really good. There's a lot of talented people on there. Norlex Belma. Very funny guy, Ed Bailey, Molly Sharrow, and Sean's going to be kicking it off. And it's in a theater built in, I think, 1914 in East Liberty. And it got shut down and then it got restored again, named after Billy Strayhorn and Gene Kelly, two Pittsburgh legends. And it's like a 350-seat theater, just like an old classic building. So it's going to be a lot of fun, so definitely got to come out for that.
Yeah, there's a lot of big names going to this as well. A lot of people, if you're involved in the comedy scene, obviously people know you and Sean, but there's also a lot of other great local comedians that are performing at this event that if you're connected in the scene in any way, you know who these people are.
And it's a burgeoning scene. I lived here, I moved to Virginia Beach for a little while, and then I came back in like 2004, and there was just like one or two open mics in the whole town, and there was maybe 10 comedians that I knew after like a year or so. But now in Pittsburgh, there is an open mic pretty much every single night of the week, and there's the number of comedians in town are into the hundreds now.
Yeah, it's crazy, and there's so many huge events, and they get involved in the music scene as well. You saw there was actually a comedy segment at the Strip District Music Festival this year, so they're getting involved in stuff like that as well. And it's amazing because people still don't know it's out there. That's the part that blows my mind.
Still don't know.
People told me the other day that somebody's complaining at work, there's no local comedy in Pittsburgh. I'm like, what are you talking about?
You just gotta look around. Yeah. There's plenty there in almost every town, and even just outside the city too. A lot of the shows we do that are kind of fun are like fire hall shows that you do out
There's a lot of that, yeah.
There's a lot of, and those are a lot of times really good audiences, because if they're living in a small town and they're coming out to a show, that's it. That's their whole night. Cause sometimes in the city, you got other options.
Sure.
You can go to a show. If it's not going well, you can get out of there and go to a bar. But when you're doing it in a small town, it's the event of the day. It's there's people coming from the city, and they're there all day. They get drunk. They got a babysitter, and they just completely into the show, and it's just fun. It's just fun doing it. There's a lot of rough nights too, where you're sitting in a bar in like Carrick or something, and it's two drunk guys with their arms crossed, just looking at you, and you just feel like they hate you.
Do you think, are bar shows like the worst because you?
Bar shows are the absolute worst for many reasons. If a good rule of thumb, if you're doing a show, if you can see the bar from where your microphone is, it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
Because people are at the bar, they just want to drink. And then the worst combination is a show with no cover charge. Even if you charge like $2, people will listen because hey, I paid my $2. You better shut up and listen. But if it's free, you're just talking louder than everyone else in the room.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. The TVs are still on at the bar. You hear like, you'll be going into like a punchline and you'll hear the blender pop up. And it's just, people are rowdier. Bar shows, I mean, they're fine if it's just doing like an open mic.
Sure.
Where, you don't care anyway. You're just working on stuff. But if it's a show in a bar, it's just almost, I've done, I don't know, 70, 80 of them, and I don't think any of them were like, oh man, that was great.
Yeah. No, well, the first time I saw you, the second time I saw you was in a bar.
That's right. That one wasn't bad, actually. That was better than normal. So you saw
that was right down the street at the Double L here in Louisville.
Yeah.
But no, the first time that I saw you was actually at the Great Sports Debate, and I know that could be a hard crowd, but you did a pretty good job.
Thanks.
I think it went over. People were laughing.
That's another tough one too, because that was one of those situations where, again, I think it's free to get in, which is tough for comedians because, it's the same thing. They're just going to talk. And it was one of those rooms where you're just talking louder than everyone else in the room.
There's been a lot of angry, middle-aged old guys.
There is, angry at their life. It didn't turn out quite how they thought, and they kind of take it out on you. But this show coming up Friday is in a theater,
Yes,
and
it is designed.
It's designed for it. It's a nice big stage. People are coming out for the sole purpose of seeing comedy, and not just like flipping through the trivia machines or the quote-unquote gambling.
And it does make a huge difference. I can attest to that personally. I've been to many comedy shows around the city, and it's unbelievable the difference just being in a comedy atmosphere versus even at the music festival, for example. It was the same thing. People were talking over some of the comics. It was hard crowd, and they were there for it, and they still were talking over it. But there was no cover charge, like you said.
That's what it is, and it's frustrating because Personally, I would rather have like a crowd sit there and be quiet and just think I'm the worst comedian in the world and be quiet than to have everyone talking because when you're telling a joke, it's like you're telling the joke, but at the same time near the end of the joke, you're in your head, you're thinking about, all right, what joke am I going to tell next? So it's like that's why you kind of tell some of the same jokes over and over because you just have to have them almost memorized, make them sound like it's not memorized, like you're just coming up with it. But at the same time, you got to be thinking in your head, all right, after this joke, what am I going to talk about next? And then, but when people are just talking like that, it's such a distraction.
Yeah.
To do the next joke or anything like that.
Oh yeah, because your whole mind, you're battling them. You really are.
And music should. It always sounds like fun, and people always think that that's gonna work.
Yeah,
it doesn't
work. No.
And then you can go on before a music act, but you can't go on after. Because once people are there for music, and I don't blame them, I love live music too.
Sure, yeah.
And then once you're dancing and you're in the mood, the last thing you want to hear is someone doing,
and it's two
airline food jokes.
Different types of entertainment because music you don't necessarily have to give your full attention all the time, and plus it's one of those things where music is a very loud entertainment forum versus comedy. It's not as loud. It's not in your face. You have to give your attention to them, and so it's really different because you've got the part where you have to pay attention and the part where you can just kind of go crazy, or the part where you're headbanging or whatever you want to do.
It's just a bad mix. It would be like going to a monster truck pull and like, all right, we're gonna take a break now and have like figure skating.
Yeah,
and exactly. It's a different crowd. Like I don't want to see this.
Yeah.
I'm here for the trucks.
Exactly.
I don't want to see axles and whatever, pirouettes. I don't know. Is that even ice skating? I don't know. Ballet. I don't know.
Who knows? They seem very, very a lot of parallels.
Yeah, I know.
Mike Wysocki here on the River Talk Extra. He has a show tomorrow at 8 p.m. that's benefiting the Parkinson Foundation of Western Pennsylvania at 575 Lincoln Avenue in Pittsburgh. And Mike, you're now with the Q92 Morning Show. You've been with them for a while now. And before that, you were with WDVE. You
Yes.
came on weekly with them.
Mhm.
So what's it like now getting into a full routine? You're there every day. You got to wake up early every day.
Instead of once or twice a week, what I did there,
Yes.
it's now every day. So it's like I have to get up at 3 o'clock. And what I used to do there was fun. I would do just like one segment
Yes.
of local news, but now I do what I did there once a week. I do like 3 times a day there, so it's like 15 times
Yeah.
the work. And then it's just an adjustment getting up at 3 a.m. It's like I feel like an old person. Like I gotta go. Well, it's about 8 o'clock. It's about ready for me to go to bed now.
Oh.
And then still doing stand up. There'll be days like I'll say like on a Friday I'll get up at 3 in the morning, do the show. I got a show at 9 o'clock at night, and then you wind up if it's out of town or. Not out of town, but in the area, it's like you get back at 1 a.m., so it's like you get up at 3 a.m. and then you can't fall asleep till 3 a.m. the next day. So it's a definite adjustment, but it's more fun doing it full time. It's like I got benefits now, which like I can get hurt now and not have to worry about. Before my healthcare plan was just, I hope this goes away.
Yes.
Whatever this is, I just hope. But now it's like, luckily I haven't had to use it, but it's kind of nice having that insurance.
Knowing that you have it, yes, just in case the insurance policy.
Just in case something pops up, I can go to the doctor and not worry about, this is going to bankrupt me for the rest of my life because, I broke my ankle or something like that.
Yeah.
So that part of it's nice. And the studios are downtown, and so it's kind of fun working. We're on like the 22nd floor, so it's like
that's nice.
Great view
what
of the
building
city.
are you guys in?
It's called the Center City Tower. It's on kind of near where Smithfield and Liberty Avenue meet.
Okay.
Near the Pennsylvania DMV license plate
I
center.
have not been in that building. I had a job before where I was basically in almost every skyscraper in Pittsburgh, and I've seen all the views and everything. So I was gonna find out where people are at. So.
And it's fun to work at. And it was fun at DB. I was there for like 9 years.
Yeah, it's been forever. Yeah.
Jimmy Crenn got me on the show.
Okay.
Doing an open mic in Regent Square.
Uh-huh.
And the set went well, and then he asked me on the show, and then they asked me back next week, and then 9 years later, I was still. They told me it was kind of a compliment. They said, the guy at the time, he's not there anymore, said, well, we're just going to keep having you on until you suck, and then we're not going to have you on anymore. But they didn't get rid of me.
Yeah.
But now it's fun working with Jimmy, Pittsburgh legend, and we have another guy that's just joined the show, and Chris Cash, who did afternoon DJ at Q92. Now he's kind of running the board, running the show.
Okay.
He's brought this energy to the show, and it's picked up. It's a lot of fun, so definitely tune into that 6 to 9 every morning.
Exactly.
On
So
Q92.
A little bit of advice. I like to ask for advice when my guests are in. You mentioned that now you are up late for stand-up, and then you're up early in the morning for work. My listeners know I work overnight myself. Today, this very morning, yesterday I woke up at 9 in the morning. It was just a freak thing. I woke up, couldn't fall asleep. It had something to do with my day off. So then I worked till 7:30 this morning.
Oh,
so
man.
then I get home around like 8:30. I get to bed around 8:30, 9 o'clock. I got to be up at 10:30 to be here, to meet you, to record this interview that's going to air tomorrow morning.
Oh, man.
How do you manage to get yourself up? Do you shoot yourself with like 5-hour energy? Do you just like put an IV into your veins full of caffeine? What do you do to keep yourself going? How do you keep yourself awake?
I smoke lots of crack. No, coffee first thing in the morning. Luckily, my girlfriend will set up the coffee maker for me, so when I wake up, the coffee is ready.
It's ready,
So that's nice, and I go right to that, and then it's just like looking through stories. And then just try to nap when I can in the afternoon, just to kind of keep going. But it's mostly a lot of coffee, and it's kind of I'm kind of motivated to get out of bed because I really like what I'm doing.
Sure.
Like this is honestly like the first time in my life that like I've had a job that I didn't dread going to.
See, that would be nice. I yearn for that in my life.
Yeah.
Right now I just kind of push papers.
It took a while to get, because I worked a lot in restaurants and stuff. I did like cooking, things like that on like the south side in some places, and I just don't want to go back to it. So it's when I get up, it's like I'm going to try to do the very best I can so I don't have to get back and where I'm sweeping floors and, cleaning out a fryer or dealing with busy restaurants and stuff. That's fun. I mean, it's fine. It's hard work,
but you gotta deal with
don't
people
want to do it again.
Dealing with the
people.
public, that's the worst.
Oh my God.
10 years in retail.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, it's created
Can't you be happy about the people can't be happy over
it's
things?
created a serious disdain that I have for humanity because...
What did you sell? Or what were you...
Well, I just was in low-level retail for years and just generic retail. And then I'm trying to think what else I moved into. I dealt with my last company where I was a delivery driver. I dealt to corporate sponsors. So you're dealing with low-level secretaries who get a little glimmer of power and they gotta hang on with their last dying grip just to tell someone else what to do. Yeah. So you're dealing with assholes like that. It's just
all the time. Yeah. They get a little bit of a power trip. They think they have something over you. It's shut up.
Then I get at my current job. I don't deal with the public, but everybody who works there is swimming in the shallow end of the gene pool. They all. You gotta fight with these people just all the time. They don't understand rational conversations. So you have to belittle them and yell at them in order to get your point across, and it's awful.
Then you feel bad for doing it, and then
no, I don't. You don't, because these people deserve it. They need it. God, these people need some sort of structure in their life. For goodness sakes, where I work. If it wasn't for the company I worked for, all of these people would be on welfare. Right. You would be paying for their food. So somebody needs to get these people in line. So I'm just the asshole to do it. So
miserable people are the worst people.
They are.
Like I'll take crazy. I'll take someone that lies, someone that someone robs a bank, steals things. Sure. That's all fine. But the miserable people, they're the worst people. They just...
Oh, yeah, and what kills me about it is where I work, these people are mostly making, like, $30 an hour. Like, what are you miserable about?
What do you have to complain about?
Yeah, you do nothing. Like, these people do nothing at their job. Absolutely nothing.
Can you imagine making $30 an hour?
I know, collecting a huge check. Now, I don't make that yet because I'm new there, but it's like... A lot of these people, they've been there forever. They're making tons of money. They get great benefits, a pension plan, and they do nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them literally sleep for hours.
I'm thrilled with, like I said, having health insurance. I don't know what a pension plan is.
Exactly.
And honestly, I can't remember any time ever getting, like, a check that had a comma in it. Like, that would be nice.
Yeah,
like, people get that. It has a what's this? What's this other digit on here? What's this comma thing? What's this punctuation mark? The $30, I know, I've met people like that. They make $30 an hour. Like, you're making $240 in a day.
Yeah. What are you whining about?
How bad could it be? Unless, I don't know. I don't know what could be that bad that you would complain about. Something that's even $20, $25, $30 an hour? That's crazy amount of money.
I know. I don't get it.
I don't know how you can be unhappy.
So, Mike, on the tomorrow at 8 p.m., when people are making their way to Shaking with Laughter and say they want to be responsible, and I know before you used to not own a vehicle. I don't know if you.
I still don't. I'm still not making vehicle money.
So you get around, okay? You still get around. You use the public transportation system.
Yes.
I feel that the public transportation system in Pittsburgh is similar to what you would expect in a third world nation as far as getting around. I mean, the T, unless you live in the South Hills, it's useless. For me to get to Millville, it's quicker for me to take a bike than it is for me to take a bus to get downtown.
I took the number one here.
Yeah, so you'd understand,
Actually, if you lived in the South Hills, the T's not bad.
No, it's wonderful, but it doesn't go anywhere else but the South Hills.
No, it doesn't go. I wish they had it all over town. And then to downtown, it just makes like 3 stops.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, I've always felt, and this is the optimist in me, the dreamer in me, I always felt you should be able to take 1 foot off a plane in Coriopolis, put the next foot on the T, and take it to McKeesport.
No such luck.
No,
there's not. And then the airport's so far from here. There is one bus that goes to the airport, and I'm actually taking that, but...
So they don't have a lot of buses to the airport? I just assumed there would be. There's one.
There's the 28X.
There's one bus.
It runs every half hour, which isn't too bad. But that's it. There's just one.
So you're forced to take a taxi, and the airport tries to do everything in its power to make it impossible to get a taxi at the airport.
Yeah.
So what the hell are you supposed to do?
I don't know. And it's so far from everything else.
There's
is. Nothing near the airport.
No.
I know. But,
So how do people conquer the public transportation system in order to get to the event at 8 p.m. tomorrow?
East Liberty.
Shaking the
I don't
faucet.
know the East Liberty bus, but I know they have a lot running through there. East
Okay.
Liberty. Yeah, that's not a bad part of town to try to get to.
No,
It's-
but
you're
it's,
still
I
kind
still
of in
I
it.
look at like the schedule and I just, I
Because
I
they had
can't
the
figure
East
it out.
bus. They had the East busway. That's actually nice.
Okay.
Like if you're going east, I ain't asking all day about Pittsburgh public transportation, but the East busway just has like maybe 5 stops, and the drivers just floor it. Like they go like, I don't know how fast they're going, but it feels like maybe 70 miles an hour.
Wow.
Which I would do too, because it's just a straightaway.
Sure, yeah.
There's the only other traffic on the road are just other buses, so there aren't any lights or anything. So that's actually kind of fun. So if you're coming to the show, take the one of those buses on the East Busway. From downtown, you're there in maybe like 8 minutes or something.
All right.
It's
not
that
too bad.
fast. It flies right down, and there's like maybe 4 stops before you get there. And there's none of that. The worst thing are the stops, or when these are the things I hate. People that will stop a bus with no intention of getting on, other than asking about another bus.
Oh.
So they
that's
make
right.
everyone else wait on the bus. And you know when the 51s do, and how the hell would another driver know when
Yeah.
another bus is due? Another least favorite thing is when people get on the bus and they get on the bus and you know you got to pay when you're getting on.
Sure,
at
an
certain
exact
points.
change. Yeah.
Get the exact change ready, even if you have to pay in quarters. But it's people will just come up and that's right, I gotta pay, and then they reach into their pockets slowly, keep people waiting behind them, and then they just drop like 40 nickels, one by one, and got pennies. They're throwing like Canadian pennies in there, and like lint and paper clips, whatever's in their pocket, just taking their entire time.
Yeah.
That's so annoying.
I'm definitely that asshole when I would go down 43 when I went to school at Cal U in the car who would like pay the toll 1 cent at a time.
Yeah.
Flick it in, you know.
The same thing. People do that on the bus, and then like you get a line of people waiting behind you, and they just act like the world revolves around them. Another one too is like when they get off the bus without even looking. They can't wait for the bus to pass before they cross the street. They stand in front of the bus, wait out the traffic, and keep everyone else waiting because they're just standing right in front of the bus.
Wow.
You can't wait a second for the bus to go by and then cross the street.
That's crazy.
I know, bus people. Jeez.
Wow. Yeah, it's the only time I ever rode the public transit here was actually when I lived in Cal U, and I need to learn how to use it. That's my goal for this year. Is I actually want to know how to use it.
I'll show you around the town.
Okay, because I need to figure it out because I look at the bus schedule and it's like trying to do algebra or something. It's really confusing for me.
It's like looking at an abacus or something
Yes,
like that,
exactly.
and trying to do math with it. Luckily, it's been updated with a phone. It's now where you can just, like, they know where you are, and they can
really?
tell you
Okay.
like what time it's coming in how many minutes, and there's a lot of different like trackers and stuff, which is a little scary because the Port Authority knows where you are
at
all
times. Yeah.
times. But it's kind of convenient because then even if it's something could have came up and delayed, or some jerk held up the bus. It's very accurate. They'll say the bus will be there in 11 minutes. You look at your clock, and 11 minutes later, the bus is there.
Yeah, that's wonderful technology.
So it is improving.
Yeah, well, that's the same with the parking meters. I love that because I have that app, that Go Pittsburgh app.
Oh yeah,
for your
yeah.
phone. Yeah, and I can pay the parking meter on my phone.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, it's wonderful because then it'll actually give you notifications when you're expired, and you could just extend it right on your phone. Because I'm like I'm really cheap, and historically I would park on the river trail and walk 2 miles to avoid the $2 in parking fees.
I would do that too.
So, but now with this app, it's actually so convenient that now I'm actually paying for the first time in my life, really. I mean, I was the guy, even in Irwin, where it was like a quarter for like an hour, I would park at the park and like trudge down the main street, to avoid the quarter.
You're not getting my quarter.
Yeah. So.
I understand that too. That's another reason I take the bus. Like, I mean, my girlfriend has a car, so we go, like, if it's out of town, I obviously can't take the bus places, but just to get around town, take the bus. But like where I work downtown, everyone else on the show, I don't know how they do this. There's a parking garage right across the street. And they're only there like 3, 4, 5 hours, depending if there's a meeting or something. It's like $20. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, you're going to pay
It is.
$100 a week.
I know. Yeah, I couldn't.
Just to park.
No, I couldn't, and I would.
Like, my bus pass is $25 for the whole week.
Yeah, exactly.
And that gets me there, back, and it picks me up, like, 2 blocks from my house, and it drops me off 1 block from the studio.
Yeah, I almost got a job downtown, and I was going to go straight to the bus and then the bike during the summer because there was no way in hell. I mean, I'm so cheap, I won't even pay $10. To me, that's outrageous.
That is outrageous.
Yeah,
There's no way. No. Every time I'm even in car, I'm just like you. I'll drive around forever to avoid. Sometimes you gotta break down and do it, but sometimes you can find a spot where it's not metered or.
Oh, I know where all the spots are.
Yeah,
Trust
my
me,
brother-in-law's
I'm
like
an
that.
expert. Yeah,
He's like-
I've got them all scouted out.
Nice.
Actually, I was angry with the incline because it's one thing they screwed me. They started charging for parking because that was always one of the free spots.
Oh,
I would park there, then I'd walk the trail, and I'd walk,
Mhm.
30 minutes to get downtown to avoid the $2 parking fee.
I don't blame you one bit.
No,
I like your spirit.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah,
right?
you do.
So, and then, I remember Irwin also. That was like another big thing. Whenever I got involved with the church, I started parking their lot for free,
Mhm.
so I could save myself a few steps. I still got the
Yeah.
free parking.
Nice.
So, always gotta keep thinking. So.
I know. I don't want to pay for parking. $20 a
Exactly.
day. That's good. It's $400 a month.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
That's-
That is the one good thing about where I work is they actually do have a garage that's free. It's underneath the building and it's not heated.
Perfect.
But the building is so massive that the heat, I know heat rises, but somehow it descends into the garage, and you go
that's
in there,
great.
and, yeah, like the snow melts off your car. It's
Oh, that's great.
yes, and where I'm working, it's like in a bad part of the north side, so you definitely want
You have to be more
you want the
specific.
car. Yeah, well, I don't want to give it away where I work on there, but so I do try
There's
to-
some cool places on the north side, but
yeah, no, there are, yeah, but
Yeah,
this is not one of them.
Right.
Not one of them at all. All right, Michael, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Ryan.
Everybody listening, don't forget to check out. It's tomorrow night, 8 p.m., 575 Lincoln Avenue in Pittsburgh, out in East Liberty. It's for the Parkinson Foundation of Western Pennsylvania. It's called Shaking with Laughter. Tons of great comedians. It's definitely something you cannot miss. You should not miss this event. Don't forget to check it out. And don't forget to check out River Talk Monday morning at 6 a.m. I'm going to have John Fetterman, Mayor John Fetterman, who's running for U.S. Senate, on the show. A really fascinating interview with him, so don't forget to check that out. And always check out Funny Money on Thursday mornings, Bold Nights Out Wednesday mornings, and Geiks Got Game every Friday morning for your up-to-date sports information. And actually, Matt Geika of Geiks Got Game, he's recording his shows from Bradenton, giving you coverage right from Pirate Spring Training, so don't forget to miss that. Check that out, and as always, keep listening 24 hours a day for the only station in Pittsburgh that plays only local music here at riversedgepgh.com.